Right, Jordan, so you recently completed a challenge in November. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so November is also known as Movember. So Movember is a men's mental health charity. And as I'm doing a lot of mental health work as part of the podcast, I wanted to do something for Movember. So I come up with a campaign which would see me run 330 kilometres over the course of November. Broken down, this is 11 kilometres every single day. And the purpose of this campaign was to raise awareness, to encourage action and raise money for men's mental health.
So what inspired you to choose running specifically as your way of raising awareness for November?
Good question. So originally I thought of a couple of different ideas. One was going to be a street interview series, but I decided to fuse my passion. So I'm really passionate about running, and this is something I do quite a lot. So I wanted to combine both a physical and a mental challenge to raise money, awareness, and encourage action around men's mental health. So this was the decision behind choosing running as the challenge.
How did you decide on 11 kilometres a day, and what does this number symbolise to you?
Another really good question. So throughout this challenge, when I was out at run clubs, that's the question I got quite a lot. People saying, why 11? And it's not just a random number I've picked out of a hat, there's a meaning behind it. So in the UK alone, we lose 11 men every single day to suicide. And that was the driving force behind me choosing to run 11 kilometres every single day.
Why is mental health, or men's mental health, such an important cause for you personally?
Because I'm a man and I have physical and a mental health. There's a lot of important men in my life as well. And for me to make them conversations a little bit easier, that makes me proud. So that's why I continue to do this work, because these important men, in my life, in the community, and if I can help one person spark that conversation or have a better understanding of their own mental health, that's a big achievement for me.
What was the most challenging part of running for 30 days straight?
So the most challenging part of running for 30 days straight was the mental aspect. This wasn't a physical challenge, this was a mental challenge. Although it did take a physical toll, the mental side was a lot tougher. So before I went for a run every day, there was this almost 10-15 minute period where I would procrastinate and I would think of all these excuses of why I shouldn't and couldn't, and I should take a day off. That was the biggest challenge, overcoming them mental obstacles and getting it out and getting it done.
Was there anyone who played an especially important role in helping you stay motivated or overcome the challenges during this campaign?
Yeah, for sure, a lot of people. And I wouldn't say they helped me stay motivated, because I wasn't motivated to do this challenge. It was more of a discipline in action, but definitely helped and made it easier. A couple of guys from the run club who came and joined me on 2 of my runs, so Manny from Made Running and Herman from Made Running, they came out and supported me and joined me on one of the 11Ks. All the people who donated, all the people who was liking and sharing the content I'm putting out and helping me spread that message. And of course my partner, who's there every day, cooking for me and just making it that little bit easier.
Were there any days where you felt like giving up, and how did you push through it?
Yeah, there was a lot of days that I felt like giving up, and it just wasn't an option. And one that stands out, maybe a couple that stand out to me. One, I went for a weekend away, so I wasn't somewhere familiar. I didn't know any routes to run, so I had to run on a treadmill. For anyone who's run on a treadmill, it's the worst experience ever. That was a tough run, and day 24 was particularly tough. you know, from the get-go, when I stepped outside, you know, I could just feel I didn't feel great. It felt tougher than usual, and I was struggling, and I wanted to quit. All the excuses in my head why I should stop, and I didn't. So there was definitely days where I was closer, or that sense of giving up was a bit stronger, but I pushed through regardless.
How did people react to your campaign?
Generally positive. I wanted to get quite a few run clubs involved in this campaign. It was really just a practice campaign for much bigger ones in the future. The run clubs I did reach out to, you know, Made Running, 2 Miles Deep, Manchester Road Runners, were all happy to support the campaign, happy to have me down and speak to the groups, which I think was amazing, because, you know, not everyone is as happy to support. I guess on social media, a lot of people was liking and sharing, sending me encouraging messages. So I think it was an overall positive response to the campaign.
What kind of support did you receive from the community during this journey?
So the support I received from the community just goes back to the run clubs that allowed me to go down, allowed me to join them on the runs, allowed me to speak to people, and, you know, gave me a platform to spread my message to more people. And another reason why I chose running was to bring the mental health conversation, especially the men's mental health conversation, into spaces it doesn't currently exist. So, you know, a lot of people are doing great things for awareness, and there are charities out there that men can access and groups they can go to, but they have to go out of their way to go and do it. If I can bring mental health to you just on a normal Saturday when you're doing your normal run with all your friends and make them conversations normal there, I think that's a bit more impactful than you having to go out of your way and maybe attend something that, you know, you might be feeling nervous to attend, you've never been to something like this before. I want to bring the conversations to you.
How do you think this campaign contributed to reducing the stigma around men's mental health?
I think this campaign contributed to reducing stigma around men's mental health by the people who took action. So, you know, as well as the running side and the spreading awareness, what was more important was people taking action. So when I spoke to people at these run clubs, that's exactly what I encouraged them to do. I encourage them to reach out to someone who means a lot to them and ask them about mental health. So that impact is invisible, but I know there is an impact, because those who sent them messages have just put mental health on the table in that relationship. That makes it a little bit easier. So I think slowly, steadily, this can show over time, and it's not an impact that happens overnight.
How did this experience impact your own mental health?
Positively. This experience impacted my own mental health positively, because I'm getting a lot of exercise. Although I was pushing myself and I might have been close to burnout, it was more positive than negative, because I'm doing something I'm passionate about, I'm exercising, I'm socialising. These are all great things for our mental health. One day that stands out in particular, I was feeling pretty down, I was feeling anxious, and then after I did my run, I felt great. The anxiety left me. And that just shows that connection between your physical health and your mental health.
What lessons did this challenge teach you?
What lessons? I think the main thing that I took away from this challenge was how far we can push ourselves. You know, 30 days consistently, I had to get up and I had to run. No matter what else was going on, no matter how long I was working, if I was, on a weekend away, if I was at a wedding party, whatever else was happening, I had to get up and run. And upon reflection, I thought, okay, this was 30 days of not being able to make any excuses in one part of my life. What if I applied that to other parts of my life? How further along could I be? And how much more could I get done without allowing myself to make them excuses?
Is there a particular moment or memory from this campaign that stands out to you?
I'd say the moments that stand out are all connected to the run club that I go to. So when Manny came down to support, that was on my 11th day. So by that point I'd run 10, 11Ks, Manny was joining me for my 11th. And although it was largely an individual challenge, having that support from Manny when he came down, from Herman when he came down, it made it a lot easier. So I just want to say thank you both, Manny and Herman, for coming down and supporting me. Supporting the campaign, you both had nothing to gain from it, and I really appreciate your time. I'd say the other thing that stands out is my partner joined me for one of the runs, and she'd never ran more than 5k before. So for runners, we understand from 5k to 11k, that's a big jump, and we wouldn't normally advise it. Anyway, she came out, she made no excuses, and she got it done. And one thing I said to her was, you didn't think you could run 11k. There was no evidence there. You should now challenge other limiting beliefs that you have, because you've just proved that you can do something you didn't think you could. Where else in your life right now do you have those limiting beliefs? Just give it a try, because you'll never know.
What do you hope others will take away from seeing your campaign?
I hope that people take away that they can do it too, because I'm just a normal guy doing normal things. I'm doing work I'm passionate about, and I think everyone should be doing the same thing. Yes, you might be working a job you don't like, but what can you do on the side that you're passionate about? What can you do that you enjoy that's going to get you out of bed? So I hope that people take away that they can do things they're passionate about, and they don't have to stay in places that they don't feel like they belong or they don't enjoy.
What advice would you give to someone else thinking about taking on a challenge like this?
For a challenge like this, I would advise someone to just do it. Don't think about it too much. If you know you can make an impact and something you're passionate about, just go out and do it.
So what is next?
Next. This question always gets me. I would say we've got a 5k run in June to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of my first 5k run. And then later this year we have a mental health photography project, which I'm super excited for. We're currently working on that right now behind the scenes, and I'd love to see as many people there as possible. So these are two of the big events, if you like, that I'm looking forward to, and I hope to see you there.